Hi Taurus, welcome to your general tarot tune-in. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. This is Tarot with Netta. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If the reading doesn't resonate with you, check out your other placements. If it does, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Grounding your reading, Two of Swords. You could be blocked off to something. But yeah, let's go into your challenge position, what's coming towards you, and your advice. Okay, Taurus. Cross watchers are welcome here. And yeah, okay, Taurus, you do have some major arcanas showing up. So this is big energy, faded energy. Yeah, so in your challenge position, you have the Page of Swords, the King of Wands, and the Judgment. The Judgment is signifying some type of return. Literally like a return from the dead. Something that you thought was totally finished, like totally over, making its way back around. But in the challenge position, it could be like something that you're trying to manifest. You're trying to manifest a return, and it's not quite happening, or it's happening very slowly. Like something's coming around. There could be like a truth coming to light, or something coming back full circle. And it's a slow process. And you've got the Page of Wands and the King of Wands. I don't love the King of Wands in this deck. It looks like quite I don't know, like more of a menacing type of setting and character, like watching it burn down, watching the house burn down or the building burn down. Very powerful masculine energy, very fiery. On the positive, could be like charismatic, somebody jovial, has a good sense of humor, a good leader. But on the flip side, you know, on the negative side, some of the characteristics could be, you know, like abusive or physically domineering, arson, you know, using fire as like a tool to manipulate a situation. Aggressive, very, very aggressive. This is tied to Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, but more so like Mars energy, like war type energy. With the Page of Swords, this is about communication, but childlike communication, immature communication, ideas, thoughts, words that are still in the developmental stages, not really having all of the information to make a clear, accurate idea or an expression. So in these, as a combination, it just seems like it could be like malicious gossip, like some type of information that's being spread almost like wildfires, that's putting this situation that needs to come around full circle, that needs closure, it's putting it in a challenging position. There could be yeah, like Taurus, because you have the Two of Swords as your overall energy, you're blocked. Like your heart is blocked, your vision is blocked. It's somewhat of a protective posture here. Yeah, it just seems like there's something in your energy that's like not allowing you to think clearly, to come to a clear conclusion, to bring closure to a situation, or like there's unfinished business, and it could be that other people, other more powerful energies are standing in the way of you being able to experience something fully, or yeah, have it come around full circle. So yeah, this is a really it's kind of like a stuck energy, and it's like somebody just has like power over you, somebody who's exerting that power in a negative way. Yeah, with the King of Wands in this deck particularly, it's more of a malicious energy that I get. Yeah, and in the challenge position, it's like a type of energy that, you know, it's affirmed that it's expressing its like negative qualities. Yeah, you could be dealing with someone in your energetic field that could be like verbally like toxic towards you. Yeah, like verbally abusive, like just using their power to control, and it's creating like a blockage in karma. Even like things are very out of balance. Okay, yeah, the Two of Swords, this is like a visually balanced image for the most part. We do have the new moon in the corner, so again, like things are not fully realized, things are still in the developmental stages, but in order to keep some type of balance or to keep some type of peace, the only way that you can do that is just by blocking yourself off. Yeah, Taurus, like you're not in a flow state. You're not moving like through your life in a fluid way. So it's very constricted. So let's go into what's coming towards you. Yeah, you've got more major arcanas here, the Tower, the World, and the King of Swords. I do like the World here because this is showing like a closure or completion of a cycle, but there's going to be like major upheaval, possibly destruction that happens with the Tower. This is Scorpio energy, and Taurus, Scorpio is your opposing sign, or your sister sign. So sometimes, you know, I give the advice, if you're ever kind of at a crossroads in your life and you want to find more balance, you can look at the characteristics of like your sister sign or your opposing sign, whatever you want to call it. So Taurus, like you are more of the consumer energy. You love like luxury. You love pampering yourself, like food, drinks, fashion, you know, beauty, just like consuming it all. Whereas Taurus is all about transformation and letting go. Scorpio is all about transformation and letting go. Scorpio is like one of the more challenging signs, but it's also one of the most powerful, ruled by Pluto, the underworld, where, you know, Scorpios that are evolved are able to transmute very quickly because they have like taken on the karma or the life lesson of letting go and non-attachment. So I think there's possibly like a need to detach to an outcome and allow the situation to close out. You're gonna have to put a lot of faith and trust in the universe. The King of Swords, it's another powerful masculine energy. This is an energy that's coming towards you. Somebody that could be very clear in their communication, very analytical. Somebody who might be able to give you some wisdom where, yeah, you're moving from this like King of Wands, Page of Swords energy, something where it's like verbally like a toxic environment, into some type of like upheaval and a closing out of a cycle. And then even you possibly might be able to think clearly, like to develop through those stages of like being blocked off, learning how to communicate, where you're just going to suddenly be able to look at the things that you're struggling with more objectively and talk about them more objectively. Yeah, this is again another abstract reading for you, Taurus, but it is what it is. This, you know, this could be related to like any aspect of your life, but it's more of like a psychological reading. Okay, you could like say it's about work, finances, love, friendship, whatever, but essentially it's just like what's the bigger theme, what's the bigger picture. Your advice, you have the Lovers, another king, the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. So you have a lot of like powerful major arcana cards, court cards. With the Lovers, this is Gemini. using your power of analysis. But the Lovers card, I don't always see it related to love. I see it more as a choice card where you're having to choose between something that you have been doing but you trust in the results versus choosing something new and exciting but potentially could lead to some type of disappointment because you don't know like if it can follow through. Yeah, so it's essentially choosing between two things, something tried, tested, true versus something new, fun, but risky. The King of Pentacles to the Queen of Swords. Yeah, these are two court cards. So if you are like in some type of romantic situation, this is like not a bad match. But there are no cups, so there's not a lot of like emotions. But you know, you the masculine and the feminine are represented as the king and queen. The king bringing the material support, the queen bringing logic, wisdom, understanding. But I don't see this as a love reading too much. I see it more as like you trying to balance like within yourself, like the masculine and the feminine, and moving through like these different stages of like destruction, analysis, groundedness. The Queen of Swords can be a tricky character as well because sometimes it represents like blocking or kind of like bitchiness. So just watch out for that. If you are moving into a more protective state of like your wealth or your finances, you might start being a little bit cold, but it might be necessary because it's something, you know, you're going through a process of like, yeah, like moving out of this blockage. And I feel like you're going to be starting at the beginning. After this Tower moment, you'll be like learning to build again from the ground up. Yeah, it's like, it's not going to be a super easy time, but it's a lot of opportunity for growth. Okay, let's get one card from the Divine Animals Oracle just to close off your reading. Strategy, Red Fox, number 3. Yeah, you could be strategizing. What's your next move? How to get out of a situation, how to close out a cycle, something difficult that you're in that's like, it's not allowing you to move freely through your life. I feel like enough is enough. You're going to move out of that and you're going to be able to look at the situation more objectively. But yeah, you're going to be confronted with like almost like an immediate choice. Like you might feel like a sense of relief like for a day, like once this, you know, destructive force comes in and like dismantle something, but it's going to dismantle something that like you wanted that dismantling to happen. I feel like it's going to be like a relief for you with the world. It's going to allow you to close out a cycle, but it's almost like right away you're going to be presented with new challenges. You're not going to have much vacation time or rest because you have a lot of court cards. These are like powerful cards. They're mature cards where you have to interact with your life. You're not really able to dissociate and just go with the flow, unfortunately. You're gonna move essentially from like one situation that's like making you feel stuck to another situation. You might not necessarily be stuck in it, but you're going to feel the pressure almost immediately of strategizing what's your next move. Yeah, I feel like you're at a crossroads here with the Lovers. You're going to be making a big choice, a big decision. Yeah, like what do you want next in your life? Yeah, and you might have to think wisely, think carefully of it so you're not finding yourself feeling in another situation stuck again, you know, being manipulated by very powerful abusive figures. Okay, my dear Taurus, I hope this helped. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.